Hey, welcome to this week's Top 5 Not to Buy. In this series of videos, I take a look at the Key Collector Trending 20, CBSI Hot 10, and Cover Price Top 10, and I try to figure out the 5 worst investments in my opinion on those lists. Keep in mind, I do also follow up on prices on these books 6 months and 1 year later, so you can track that. Hi, I'm Christopher, aka the Bronze Age Nerd, and let's jump right into this video by talking about Ben Affleck, Daredevil, and Jennifer Garner, Elektra. Oh, God. I can't believe I'm rehashing this territory, but there are rumors that, well, Jennifer Garner is going to appear in Deadpool 3, and then a little bit later we'll talk about Ben Affleck. I guess because if you're going to have Jennifer Garner Elektra, you may as well have Ben Affleck Daredevil, right? Before I talk about both of these books, though, I will say that, look, if Deadpool kills these characters or something in this movie, or just insults them to their face for a couple minutes, that'll be funny, but will it really affect the value of the books I'm about to talk about? So let's get right into it. The first one is Elektra, the official movie adaptation. And according to the Key Collector write-up on this one, it is seeing a 833% increase in sales after it was announced that she's going to have a cameo in Deadpool 3. Look, that is one of the most notoriously bad representations of a character in comic book history, and that is saying a lot because there is a wide and long history of bad comic book adaptations. And it's funny because Ben Affleck Daredevil is the one you think of, and then somehow the Elektra movie made that worse for Jennifer Garner. Again, this could be a really funny thing. This could be something that definitely pops between now and whenever that movie finally comes out. But long-term value on this book, it ain't happening. Which brings us to number 4 on the list, Daredevil the movie, number 1. So he is rumored to appear as a Universal Matt Murdock in this film, and same rules apply. Look, Charlie Cox is going to be MCU Daredevil. There's not much room for Ben Affleck. I mean, think about it. Batfleck in The Flash didn't really do much for people. I don't think this version of Daredevil, it's probably going to be funnier, so there's that. But again, no long-term value in this book. I'm going to avoid it. At number 3, let's round out this Deadpool 3 talk with Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. So the spec here, and this is kind of why we talked about those first 2 comic books, is that the storyline for Deadpool 3 might be shaping up to be a Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe type of story. I have my doubts on whether or not that's the case, but because I feel like it, maybe they'll do something like that, and it would be like a sequence within the movie that he runs as a joke. It's really hard to say with Deadpool, but even if that's the premise of the entire movie, we often don't see movies that are based on a storyline have the comic book then represent any kind of increase in value based on how that movie is good. Like look at Civil War. That's one of the best examples. The Civil War comic books, you had Civil War, it was very loosely based on those comic books. They haven't really jumped in value based on the movie Civil War. What you are more likely to see is a spike in value. And this book was actually already somewhat desirable. I wouldn't call it a major key or anything, but it is a book that I don't see going for cheap prices. A lot of Deadpool stuff sells pretty well. So this will do probably okay between now and when the movie comes out, and then I predict that it'll return to its average before the announcement or the speculation started. And that's what makes it a not to buy for me. It's a really common recurring theme on these lists. Next up, this actually made it to Cover Price. It was on at least one of the other lists the previous week. It's the Hulk Annual number 1. This is from the new series, not the classic Hulk Annual. That's an awesome book, but this is the one that has the first appearance of a new character named the Eldest. We don't know anything about this character really yet, as far as I can tell. It's not quite a cameo, but it is a very small appearance in that annual. And I will say that, hey, maybe this character becomes awesome. But since we've heard no further buzz, I haven't seen any further solicitations. Usually we know if a character is going to be something that's going to be a big deal in the Marvel Universe right away by now. So my guess is if this character ever becomes a big deal, it's going to take a while for us to learn anything about them, which means that interest will die off in this book, and you'll have plenty of opportunities to buy it for a lower price. Speaking of being able to buy books for a lower price, at my number 1 pick, I have The Amazing Spider-Man number 26. This is the second printing 1 in 50 Frank cover. Now, this book is a 1 in 50, currently selling for $90 to $100 according to Ben's write-up over on CBSI. That means that this book is actually selling really well right now. And if you know my list, I try to save the final 5th book, the number 1 pick, as being, kind of a book that is maybe more of a riskier pick that has more of a chance to stay high in value or increase in value, just to kind of show that I'm not just picking the low-hanging fruit every time. With this particular book, here's the thing. The reaction to all the news and spoilers and solicitations that have come out about how Miss Marvel is coming back has been overwhelmingly negative. So I don't know why her death issue, when she's coming back again to the Marvel Universe a few months later, is going to be something that anybody is going to care about down the road. The people that will care are hardcore Miss Marvel fans, and they probably already have the cover they want for this book, or they pre-ordered the retailer incentive. I just don't see how there's going to be any demand for this book 6 months or a year later, based on the fact that Miss Marvel's coming back. People aren't happy about how she's coming back and the timing of her coming back. I mean, it's Marvel Comics, so when a character dies, just wait a couple months and they're going to come back. Speaking of waiting a few months for things to come back, remember I do cover the prices on these books 6 months later and 1 year later, and I also do this list every week. So if you're interested in checking out these videos, definitely consider following along. Also, on your way down to the comment sections to let me know if you think I'm right or wrong about any of these picks, you could consider becoming a channel member. Those are the people that are scrolling by the screen right now, and they help with the production costs on this channel, and I very much appreciate that support. It means the world to me. Until next time, I just want to remind you, as always, hey, 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 read comics every day.